Welcome to the People Success Circle, your go-to source for actionable insights and strategies to create thriving workplaces and rewarding careers. I'm Mindy East, an HR leader with over 28 years of experience helping businesses and individuals unlock their full potential. Whether you're a business leader looking to build a stronger team or a professional ready to thrive, you're in the right place. Get ready to uncover proven strategies for success, both personal and organizational. Let's dive in. Welcome back to this week's episode of the People Success Circle podcast. I'm excited to have a guest today to talk to us about the intersection between emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence and how that impacts us as teams in the workplace. So welcome, Kelly. I am so glad you're here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be part of this conversation today.
Well, I'm excited too, because these are some important topics and I think people could view it as a friction point. And so whenever we have those kind of situations, it's good to talk to an expert like you. I would love for you to give a brief bio and then just tell my guests what led you to this topic and how it impacts teams in the workplace.
You bet. So I've been leading sales teams, been in sales. This path has been over 25 years now, and it has changed quite dramatically over time. Sales, when I jumped in, was very much the, would you rather wear a Rolex or a Timex? It was very hardcore, mentality and what drove a team and what made you successful. As time has gone on, I've loved some of the changes that we've seen in the workplace and the real human aspect and what from pitching products to actually being more engaged with customers. So it led me down to really start looking at what has changed. But throughout, the one thing that I saw hadn't changed a lot was I wasn't seeing a lot of women entering sales. So I really started looking into it. Now, the interesting thing I found is that women are really successful at sales, actually 11% more successful. And so when I started looking at what makes them so successful, it was actually their lack of confidence. So they would innately start asking more questions, which is all emotional intelligence and and listening. So then that continued down the rabbit hole. I went to learn about EI over AI. So that's what got me here. And I'm just all of it.
Yeah. So you've even written a book about it. Tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah. So on the topic of women getting into sales, it's called Prospect Like a Girl, Winning in Sales Using Your Emotional Intelligence Over Artificial Intelligence.
Okay.
And all of the things that I started looking into about women and why we doubt ourselves more, but yet it works for us in sales, how to get more women to see that they may not have a certain technological background, but why they still win. That's all in the book. So I through chapter after chapter of what I was learning.
That's great. And I'll link that in the show notes for anyone who's interested. Now, tell me about how you define in your research and in your book, tell me about how you define emotional intelligence and talk about the difference between emotional intelligence and artificial intelligence.
Yeah. So EI for me is the ability to understand and manage your own emotions effectively.
Yes.
Recognize and respond at the same time to the emotions of others, which is key. That's where empathy comes from. AI, on the other hand, is data, pattern recognition, diction. So EI is about that connection. So where AI can give you some clues as to why things might happen, EI is about navigating how that's going to affect others when that pattern is happening.
And so when you think about that, I guess from your perspective, how was the role of emotional intelligence? How has that changed now that AI has come into the workplace?
Yeah. So I think it's really important when, I started leadership was about the top leaders were those that could answer all the questions.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And now the top leaders are those that know how to ask the right questions.
That is such a good distinction. As I learn about EI and I train on it when I go to different companies to help people understand that it really is
the root of showing up as a leader is understanding your own emotions and managing your own emotions and then helping your team to understand and do the same. And then as AI has entered it, we keep hearing over and over again, like AI is going to take over everyone's job and it's going to make those jobs obsolete. What do you think when people say that?
So I hear it a lot, especially within my teams of sales development, so people on the phone.
Mhm. Mhm.
I have been in this now so long that I will date myself. I started my sales career before there was email. As soon as email came out,
Yes.
they said, "No more phone. This is the only way we're gonna communicate is all email."
That's funny.
And
Yeah.
now, again, we're back to, "Don't send me an email.
Yeah.
I would rather just put in a Slack or a quick call. I don't wanna."
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and so my whole life has been, constantly about the human aspects of selling. People want to say
Mhm.
that this is easier, this is faster. And then when it gets down to it, even myself, I want to call about something I need for customer service. And I'm just sitting there just yelling into the phone. So
Yeah.
people say it's going away. I think what it's going to do is be able to allow people to do their jobs more effectively,
Mhm.
help
Mhm.
them with prediction. But for companies that think AI is taking over, people see through that in the human
Yeah.
element. When it's gone, you're not going to be able to replicate it. And I have a feeling many companies will be too far down the path of just AI and
Mhm.
realize it too late.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously my field is human resources and there are parts of my job and in the field that can be automated, but I can't imagine it ever going away or even going to a call center, which you see a lot now is having someone just answer calls. We really have to know our employees in order to bring out the best of them and I can't do that. So I'm with you though. I remember getting my first cell phone at work and my in email at the first time. So we're probably in the same age range, that's for sure. I remember it very, very well. So when you think about that, what skills matter today even more than they did back then?
Sure. So I think curiosity
Mm.
um, and resilience are key
Mhm.
when it comes to having accountability,
Yeah.
knowing how to handle rejection,
Mhm.
wanting to continue to learn,
Yeah. Yeah.
to grow. So those
Mhm.
are the keys for me.
Yeah, and AI can't replace them. But I do think that keeping up with AI is really important, right? Like
Absolutely.
I think the person who says, "I don't wanna use it, and it's not gonna I'm not going to adapt, and I'm not gonna use that," I think they're behind too, because it will be a part of our job. I just don't think it'll take all the jobs.
So where I just said for the skills,
Mhm,
resilience, part of resilience is learning the new whatever that is.
mhm,
Um, To have that knowledge, that's really key. How you use it is up to you, but understanding it so when you're in the room of people talking about it, you have the confidence to know you know what they're talking about, you just may have a different view of how to interpret the data or use the data. And then
right.
growing, it's always important. There's so
Mhm,
many things as I start hiring younger and younger, and I think, "Oh, we won't need that or do that." And you have to stop and understand there's a lot to that. Again, going back to emotional intelligence. I may not use it, but how important is it for me to learn it and know it to be able to effectively communicate with those
mm,
employing and
yeah,
why it's important to them? That's huge
mhm,
to understand, especially around the amount of AI tools out there. I have to
mhm,
understand what they all are to understand what's gonna be most important and valuable for my team.
yeah. So as you are hiring younger employees, what do they think, and what are they saying and bringing to the workplace as it comes to artificial intelligence?
So, I think it's the idea of tools. What we have to realize is they've had, whole life of
Mhm.
technology.
Yeah.
So now it's almost exhaustion. You can
Mm.
get too many tools and then it
Mhm.
distracts from the actual role. So what
Mhm.
are the key tools? What is it? And it's sometimes where it used to be, you look at the entire team and say, they all need this and they get this.
Yes. Yeah.
Now we have to look at individuals too and say, how do they learn? What
Mhm.
make them most effective?
Mhm.
Does everybody need the same, or are there things that will help some and maybe not others? But it's
Mhm.
they're wanting to grow with the company.
Yeah, and I think it is important to realize that they could have some exhaustion when it comes to all this technology, right? I mean, there is so much and there's so many every day there's a new AI tool out there or even just a business tool to help me run my business. I mean, I feel like, there's such a variety and the depth and breadth of all the tech tools out there is just huge. So, Kelly, you have written a book to help women become better salespeople. And I have to tell you, that's something that I'm personally working on right now myself. So, what prompted you to write this book?
Well, I have been in sales my entire career. And as I've looked around after all of these years, I'm still not seeing more women enter the
Mm,
room. And I've always wanted to write the book. It's always been on my mind. In between being at companies, I have consulted with companies, helping them. And where I went to school at Bentley University, they have actually a degreed sales program now that I have learned a lot about, and there's a lot of schools that are doing this now,
hmm
but they don't even have a lot of women in the classes. So
Joining
I
the
really
program.
started going down the rabbit hole of why is this
Yeah.
but fascinating. Women are 11% more successful at sales. And this is not putting down men. It's because of our ability to ask questions,
hmm
and that's rooted in we doubt ourselves more than we feel that we'll do the right thing. So in sales, what happens a lot of times, we're asking the questions because we don't think that's a technology maybe I don't know enough about. I can't be the leader in this. Let me ask more questions. And innately, that just keeps going down to emotional intelligence. And then it just builds the rapport. So that's how women become more successful at it. We just got to get more into the field.
Yeah. So I recently had someone kind of explain to me the difference between sales and marketing, and that, we can market all day long, but when the customers come in and we don't know how to sell to them, that's a whole nother issue. Right. And so I was thinking about this in relation to your work in guiding women to be better salespeople, because I do think if you were to look at the numbers of people going into marketing, it would be high for women,
Yeah.
right? I think there would be high
Yeah.
for
Oh,
women. I
absolutely.
majored in public relations and marketing myself, right? And so I think, and I now in my mid 50s is saying I need to learn how to sell, right? I mean, it's one thing to market, that comes easy to me, but the sales part is a little bit more challenging. I'm actually seeing that as well as far as more degree programs with sales down here in Texas. And Texas A&M has a really strong program. They have their own job fair just for sales jobs. And
Yes.
I love seeing that because I think we used to think that you either were a salesperson or you weren't a salesperson, right? Based
Correct.
on personality and or your gender, right? And now I'm starting to think that people are seeing this as like a very valuable business skill that is worthy of a degree.
Absolutely, and it's not anymore that it's snake oil, these are you wanna be skilled at this, and you
Mhm,
wanna believe in the products you're selling and the services you're selling, and that's what I hear a lot of times too when I'm even interviewing people to come in, that they
mhm.
want to really believe in the company, believe in the products that are being
Yeah.
sold, and, I think at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. When you believe in what you're doing, you do much
Mhm.
better at it as well.
Yeah.
And then you can be more confident too, talking about whatever your goods and services are.
Yeah.
And so that's really why I wanted to write the book and finally say that I did it, is because I just knew, even when working for a company, they
Mhm.
say that men will apply for the role if they have like 67% of what it says is needed.
Yeah.
Women, 83%,
Mm.
and they won't even apply.
Yeah.
Versus people say, "Oh, I'll learn it."
Yeah.
So that to me just said, well, now it's time to open the door, have people realize this is a possibility, and show them that they don't have to know everything coming in.
Mhm.
They can actually learn on the job as well.
Yeah. So as you I know in your role you are a sales leader, and as you look at like the training and development that a company can provide, do you see a difference when you're training between women and men?
So again, I think it's the amount of knowledge that they want at first.
Okay.
Thinking that I can't get on the phone until I have all of it down.
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
all of the products. I need to know all of the answers
Yeah.
because if they ask me something and I don't know, I don't want to feel stupid.
Mhm.
And it's true that a lot of times the end user doesn't have all of the, technological information either. That's why they're coming to you.
Right.
So it's okay to ask more questions. That
Mhm.
actually puts you in a better position than just answering. Because
Yes.
what you find is if somebody comes to you and has a question and you're just yes or no, we do that, we don't do that. I don't know why they're asking me that. I don't know if it's important to them. Did they read
Mhm.
about it? So
Mhm.
the best thing is, playing tennis, getting
Yeah.
getting the ball back in their court, learning about them and why that's important to them.
Mhm. Mhm.
Is it important to the company or is it important to them personally for their role? So that's where you need to really dig into.
Yeah, I can totally see that. That just the need or the want really to have a full picture before, being confident enough to sell things. And I think that that relates to even being able to speak up, right? I mean, I think women are hesitant to speak up many, many times in rooms, whether it be a PTA room or a sales conversation, because they're like, "Oh, I don't know if I am qualified enough. I don't know if I have enough of the knowledge." Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's it's that tarnished mirror. We just all of the things that we see in ourselves versus others. And
Yeah.
when you get into a room of women and you start talking, there are some that you could just be completely enamored by. And
Mhm.
when you become maybe closer friends with them, you find out that the whole time they thought that what they were saying wasn't valid. And
Yeah.
it's really interesting when you have those open conversations.
Mhm. Mhm. And so what do you see when you think about AI in sales? I'm really curious, what do you see as some of the impact that AI is having on the world of sales?
It's having a ton. That's all we hear about, right? So AI obviously touches everything from the tools that we use, how we learn the role that we're in, how we get better at the role that we're in,
Mhm. Mhm.
how the product's going to respond, the customers are going to respond to the product. But when we talk about AI in general, what I like to look at is especially in sales, people get so nervous that, all of the jobs that are getting replaced
Mm.
am I going to be replaced by the robots? And this to me is really about AI is amazing and I think can help so much with our roles because of the data it's able to provide.
Yes.
Where am I strong? Where without having to write every note of the customer that I'm talking to, be able to transcribe the call, be able to let me know next steps, questions I should have
Mhm.
asked, objections, how to handle. That's what is really impactful and people should be looking at, especially in sales. How do I get better with AI? How do
Mhm.
I use AI to improve upon my own skill set that I can then still be my human self, which is
Yeah.
everybody wants that human interaction, but the
Mhm.
version of it.
Yeah.
So what this is, you can get to that data a lot faster. You
Mhm.
can get to the heart of what certain industries are looking at, what certain job titles are looking for with your product by, quick AI searches. And that's the thing that, it shouldn't be scary. That should empower you to be able to do a better job at your role.
Mhm.
So, and then, I look at things and say, AI can tell you what is happening. It's EI that can help you understand the why it's happening.
Yes. Yes, for sure. And when we talk about I think that it's so I mean, especially in sales, sales is about relationships, and AI can never replace the relationship side.
Correct.
It just can't replace it.
I was on a call the other day. I knew it was a bot and it was
Mhm.
talking through the whole customer service and it was getting more and more frustrating. I
Mhm.
have done this now so long that when I started my career with the yellow pages and going
Mhm.
through trying to find companies to call,
Yeah.
as soon as email came out, cold call is going to be gone.
Yeah.
No, it got stronger because then again, people, their email box fills
Mhm.
up. And
Mhm.
then it came to text. And then people, again, the call will be gone because we'll be able to text a message really quick.
Right.
No. And then people were like, stop hitting my phone. Text. I want to talk to you. What do you need?
Yeah.
And then, all these iterations from social to every single time I have heard that the call is going to go away.
Mhm.
Every that has become stronger to me. And
Mm.
I want to pick up the phone, even in my personal life. I want to get to a customer service rep and I want to get the problem solved.
Mhm.
So, my experience the other day knowing it was a bot and it just kept taking longer and longer in the circles. And I was so frustrated. And
Mhm.
there are worlds of that going on right now.
Yes. Yes, so much. Does your company or have you heard of other companies within sales using AI in the hiring process?
You know what? AI throughout multiple parts of the process. What
Okay.
we're really trying to be cautious about, I think there are ways that can be really helpful if we're finding a lot of time is spent not moving the needle. So if
Mhm.
it's just, with the hiring process at the very beginning, if it's reviewing what's necessary for the role, does it fit the
Mhm.
criteria? I think that can help with, moving people through the funnel faster. Or at the end, responding to those, whether it's getting to the next step or unfortunately saying that this isn't the right role for them.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think everything gets down to really speed to lead because AI has even fed that. You
Mm.
can get information so fast now that people are expecting speed with everything. They want answers quick. So I think AI now is because of the speed of which we receive information, we also
Mhm.
want it that fast.
Totally.
So that's where AI can also help to get information out quickly that
Mhm.
people used to have to wait a little bit for, and then
Mhm.
now we just get annoyed. We don't hear back. Like, I want my answers. Am I
Yes.
moving ahead? Moving ahead? What's next? Where's that document you said you would send? That's where I feel it helps.
Yes. It's interesting that you say that because as many others are exploring Claude right now versus ChatGPT, Claude is slower for me. My husband says it's not. For me, it's slower. And I'm like, what's taking so long? Why is it slower?
Yeah.
But I mean, I do think that it has already trained us to think the answers are within seconds away. Right. And now I actually even find myself going to Google. And when I do a Google search, I'm like, this is like archaic compared to what I can get from AI. Right.
It's unbelievable.
I mean, it's already been trained. I've already been trained, right? To say, oh, the quickest, most effective answer is probably going to be coming from AI.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
want to ask, my second question and my third question from the answer of the first. Well, you can't do that on the web anymore.
No,
So I'm over that. Like
I
that
know. Right.
I need more detail.
Yeah, right? More detail for sure. And, I think we all have to go into it with a grain of salt. Like, it's still not like, I mean, it may not be the exact right information. We have to take it with a grain of salt. But the fact that we're getting something that's like 80% there, 90% there right away has been helpful for sure. I found that
Absolutely.
using AI I love to take the job description and put it into AI and say, help me come up with both commonly asked interview questions and situational or, competency based interview questions for this and create guides. And I use it with my clients for all kinds of things for hiring. And it's really, really helpful.
And what I can say is the opposite too. When you're interviewing someone, if they
Hmm.
haven't done that for themselves,
Yeah.
stands out.
Yeah.
So
It really does.
been prepared in 10 minutes, they could have had a list of questions to ask the certain title that they're talking to with about the
Yes.
industry. And even if they're semi reading off of it, that
Hmm.
makes me feel better that they did their due diligence. Then when I
Yes.
get people now that they're like, no, all my questions, I'm
Oh,
like, you should have had way more questions to
yes,
ask.
yes. I mean, research shows that the people who do not ask questions do not get the job because it's just like
I
they're
mean,
not inquisitive. They're not curious. And like I used to be a career consultant and I used to say, you're interviewing them just like they're interviewing you. For
correct.
sure. For sure. And so it's interesting to hear you say that because I do really believe the hiring managers want questions, right? You
And
know?
again, I think that anybody going into this that's even on the fence, turn the interview back around. Like
Mhm.
that's a sales technique too. And I think
Yeah.
that that dialogue, I always say
Mhm.
be interested, not
Yeah.
interesting,
Yes.
in the situation. So letting them talk more, filling you
Mhm.
with more conversation to really see if it's something that you think that you could, be a part of, to do, to be
Yeah.
successful at.
Yeah. I will tell you, my first real interview out of college was with a pager company at the time, right? And that was
Love
like
to
new
see.
technology out back then, right? And I walked in and he really did say the question to me, "Sell me this pen." And he did, and I was like, I did not get the job and I did not know what I was doing. And I look back, I've never forgotten it. I see why people ask it. And I just had to laugh because at the time it made me think, oh, I'm just not good at sales. But as a business owner, you have to be good at sales, which is why it's something that I'm trying to sharpen myself because, I can create pretty social media all day long, but when I get somebody on the phone, I need to be able to sell.
And if you were asked that question today, how would you do it? How would you answer it now versus what you did then?
Well, that's a great question. So now I have learned that I'm supposed to talk about the payoff of the pen, right? And how reliable it is and how it's, not just the fact that it is a pen and all the ways that you can use it, but like why this pen specifically, right? Am I on the right track? I don't know.
You could do that, but I would, before I even get there, I need to know if you are in a position to need a pen. So if
Okay.
the pen's not great enough,
Yeah.
like for professional, you're not going to change anything. So
Okay.
if I'm trying to sell you a pen, if you have 20 pens around you, chances are I'm not selling you a pen.
Right. Right. So what's the need? Right.
Or maybe I'm selling you a pen, but so my first instinct on it is just talking about, have you been looking for a specific pen or a pen?
Okay.
Or,
Okay.
that's what I would,
Yeah.
is there a specific type of pen? What do you usually use for a pen? What would
Mm-hmm.
interest you now about a pen?
Yes. Okay. See, I need to learn more about sales and I am. I'm working on it. I just recently joined a program to teach women how to sell, to be honest.
I love that. Good for
Yes.
you.
And I'm
Yes, it's just I think it comes down to those conversations again. So
mhm.
I love how you're going. Once you find out there is a pain, you can ask all of those questions you were saying.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, I totally think you're right. You got to figure out what the pain point is first and what they're needing and what they've tried before. I mean, that's partly the other thing is so many people will think, I have several pens. What's the difference between this pen and all those things? I've never seen The Wolf of
Correct.
Wall Street where they actually ask that question though. Have you? The movie?
Yes, I've watched all of those, and
You
so
have.
I
I have
really
not seen
it's
it.
very interesting.
Yeah,
I
I
love
bet.
watching all of it and the psychology of it.
Yes. Yes, there's so much psychology in sales for sure. Well, I just want to thank you for your time and for coming here. And if people are interested in learning more about your book, where can they purchase?
You bet. So they can purchase at Amazon. You can
Okay.
look for it, Prospect Like a Girl, Winning in Sales Using Your Emotional Intelligence Over
Mhm.
Artificial Intelligence.
Okay.
There's a publisher, which is Book Baby. You can buy it there. So those are two great places, or all of your other online retailers, but those are the two most popular.
Okay, prospect like a girl. I love it. I love it. I think it's so important. And I love how you really address both the EI and the AI as it is so relevant in today's world. I know you also do speaking. And so if someone were to want to contact you to come speak to their organization or their conference, how would they find you?
You could find me at prospectlikeagirl.com, right on my website.
Awesome. And I'll also put your LinkedIn URL in the
That's
show
another,
notes
that's a
too.
great place too.
Yeah. So all this information about Kelly and her book will be in the show notes after when you see this episode. So, Kelly, thank you so much again for coming. It's been so interesting to talk to you. I feel like I could talk about sales and EI all day long. So, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you leave a review and share it with a friend so that others can hear it too. And we'll see you on the next episode of the People's Success Circle podcast.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the People's Success Circle. I hope you're leaving with new ideas to create a thriving workplace or advance your career. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from these insights. To connect with me, head on over to LinkedIn and search for Mindy East. Until next time, remember that when people succeed, businesses thrive.